Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Hello everybody, Snake Eater Gaming here. I've had a few comments on some of my videos asking how do you grab enemies and how do you interrogate enemies. So I'm deciding to just do a whole tutorial and make it a video. So let's get into it. Enjoy. First thing I want to say is if you go into the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection and go to Online Manual, you can go to the online website where it shows all the controls for Metal Gear Solid 3. Just to show you, these are the screenshots taken from that website and I'm going to be explaining these moves in this tutorial. Alright, first things first, grabbing enemies from behind is considered close quarters combat, aka CQC. So you need to grab a weapon that is compatible with CQC. You can tell by the red letters next to the weapon. So what you want to do is sneak up behind an enemy and grab them from behind by pushing and holding the action button. On PS5, it is the circle button. You want to continue holding the action button. If you let go of the action button, then the enemy can get out and they'll attack you. Now to interrogate an enemy, you want to continue holding the action button and also push the left trigger. On the PS5, this is going to be the L2 button. When you're done interrogating your enemy, you have a number of different options to choose from depending on what you want to do to the enemy. Here, I decided to throw him to the ground and then point my weapon at him so he freezes and he can't move. So this move requires 3 different actions. You want to flick the thumbstick either up or down and then push circle right afterwards, and then you want to aim your weapon at the enemy.
Freeze. Freeze.
Now this move right here is a different variation of throwing your enemy to the ground. This move requires you to hit down on the thumbstick and also hit the action button basically at the same exact time, but you're going to want to do the thumbstick first and then the action button right afterwards. Another action you can do is use your enemies as a human shield. Do this by holding the action button and then holding the shoot button, which is square on the PS5. Now, another action we can do when grabbing an enemy, we can execute them using Snake's knife. And you use this by holding the action button, of course, and then pushing triangle on the PS5 controller or the top button on whatever controller that you're using. But if you're doing a non-lethal playthrough and you don't want to kill anybody, you can knock out the enemy by pushing the action button repeatedly really fast. So spam the circle button and then you'll just be able to knock them out just like that. Now, another tip that I have, when you're interrogating an enemy, they usually have 3 or 4 things to say. So go ahead and interrogate them 3 or 4 times as long as there's no other enemies in the area that can see you. Now, if they start to repeat themselves, then you know that's all they have to say and that's all the information that they can give you. But go ahead and push the left trigger a few different times to get everything out of them. And remember, to knock out an enemy, spam the action button. Now, if you grab an enemy and there are other enemies in the area that might see you, you can hold the action button and use the trigger to grab the enemy and drag them away to a more hidden location. But if you drag them for too long, Snake will knock them out. Alright, one last tip for you guys. Snake has 2 speeds of travel when you're using the thumbstick. He has a walk, which you see right now, or he has a run. But if you use the D-pad, he has a stalk, which is a lot more slower and a lot more quieter. It makes it easier to sneak up on enemies. And it's mostly useful for European extreme difficulty. See, when you walk towards the enemy with the thumbstick, they actually notice you and turn around, and that's enough to have an end game when it comes to European extreme difficulty. But if you use the D-pad to stalk towards the enemy, they do not notice you and they do not turn around because it's a lot more quieter. Alright, to end the video, I have a fun fact for you guys. If you grab an enemy and drag them towards a trap, you can actually throw them into the trap and watch them go down into the eternal abyss. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.